Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langamite Girim Netrupatva Maham Mande Sri Guru Tinakaram Paramananda Madhavam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 28. So, requesting if anybody can repeat after me. Bhavan Yugantararnava Urmi Malini
भवान् युगातर्णव उर्मिमालिनी
Shonim Imam Oshadi Vidudam Nidhim
शोनिम् इमाम् औषधिविरुद्धं निधिम्
Maya Sahoru Kramate Ajavojasha
मया सहोरुक्रमते ओजसा
Tasmai Jagat Prana Ganatmane Namayiti.
तस्मै जगत्प्राणा गणत्मने नाम इति.
Thank you, Mataji. God meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bhavan, your Lordship, Yuga Anta or Nave, in the water of devastation at the end of the millennium, Urmi, Urmi Malini, possessing rolls of big waves, Shonim, the planet Earth, Imam, this Oshadi, Virudham, of all kinds of herbs and drugs, Nidhim, the storehouse, Maya, me, Saha, with Uru, great Kramate, you roamed, Aja, O unborn one, O Jisa, with speed, Tasmai, unto him, Jagat of the entire universe. Pranagana Atmane, the ultimate source of life. Namaha, my respectful obeisances, iti thus. Translation. O Almighty Lord, at the end of the millennium, this planet Earth, which is the source of all kinds of herbs, drugs, and trees, was inundated by water and drowned beneath the devastating waves. At that time, you protected me along with the earth and roamed the sea with great speed. O unborn one, you are the actual maintainer of the entire universal creation, and therefore you are the cause of all living entities. I offer my respectable obeisances unto you. Translation. Purport. Envious persons cannot appreciate how wonderfully the Lord creates, maintains, and annihilates the universe. But devotees of the Lord can understand this perfectly well. Devotees can see how the Lord is acting behind the wonderful workings of the material nature. In Bhagavad Gita 9.10, the Lord says, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagat Viparivartate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. But its rule, this manifestation, by its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. All the wonderful transformations of nature are happening under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Envious persons cannot see this, but a devotee, even though very humble and even if uneducated, knows that behind all the activities of nature is the supreme hand of the Supreme Being. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshmurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yatapatagabalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Chavishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastume Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamame Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Papanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So, co-host, anybody can give that option in the view menu. Can you put speaker side by side option, Rajnath Prabhu or anybody?
Prabhu, speaker and whom, Prabhu?
Speaker and screen share side by side. Is there any option you can able to see?
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yeah, in the view mode, right side top. So what do you see on the screen now? Me alone?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Because there's nothing you shared. Prabhu.
Yeah. Now?
Wait.
Now the text is seen.
Okay. Text is in. Okay. Okay. Can you able to see full screen now without any menus, no pull down menus? Clear picture you can see, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. So this is descendants of Jambudvipa. They are making a lot of prayers for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and like various demigods and others, they have been doing prayers. Now, this is a turn of Vaivashvata Manu. Now, Vaivashvata Manu is glorifying the Supreme Lord. O Almighty Lord, at the end of the millennium, that day there is a devastation, pralaya. At that time, you protected me on the earth also. So he is conveying his thanksgiving. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, envious persons cannot appreciate how wonderfully the Lord creates, maintains, and annihilates the universe. So here the devotees have got some wonderful opportunity. Prabhupada says, devotees of the Lord can understand this perfectly well. And perfection is, how Lord creates, annihilates, maintains the whole cosmos. It's very easily understood, and the devotee can able to understand, and he respects the Supreme Lord. So for this, Srila Prabhupada also mentions that the Lord himself says that the Prakriti, the nature is working under my direction. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. Maya means my, Adhyaksha means it is a superintendence actually. So Adhyaksha means Adhyaksha, actually the word meaning is Aksha means eyes. And supervision with the eyes is Adhyakshena. What is that? That is the Prakriti is working under my direction, under my guidance, under my command and my order. The Supreme Lord is mentioning here, and the demigod in this segment is Durga Devi, and she also obeys, and she is following the Supreme Lord order. So the point to understand is the envious people, they are already put in the supervision of Durga Devi in the material nature. And the devotees, they are put under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. So it is very easy to understand. So all the wonderful transformation of nature are happening under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So those who are envious with Asuya, Dvesha, they cannot able to understand. So here I like to share something. So there is a small story, like there is a Jamindar sometime back. He had five sons. So the last fifth son, he was a very atrocious personality, and he's like an atheistic fellow, and he creates lots of nonsense in the house or in the society. He takes away father's money, and he wants to enjoy anywhere and everywhere. He has all the bad habits, illicit sex and gambling, and he smokes and he drinks. Thereby, he became a headache for the father. So then there is a fourth son. This fourth son, he now and then he comes to the father. So he says, Father, Father, so the new model of car arrived. I want to purchase it. So can you please help me? Or whatever new gadgets comes into the market, he wants to grab it, but he does not hold any money. So he comes to the father's rescue. Then father will arrange. Then afterwards, up to 6 months or 1 year, he will not turn up. So there is another son, the third son, and he also goes with the father along with father, and he visits father's factories and organizations, and he has an eagle eye, saying that, Father, why don't you give me all your property, 50% at least, so that I can also manage. Father says, Beta, you are not that much matured. You need to have some experience and some time. So that is the third son mentality. So he wants to, usurp father's property also. There is a second son of the father. This fellow is very much envious, and he does not want to, see father also. Even sometime father comes, hey, you come nearer me. So, he will say, like that. He will be away from the father. But he has a red eye on the father's property, and he wants to grab it, and he is very much envious of the father. So there is a first son. First son is very, very diamond, very, very humble person. This he always comes to the father. He resides with the father only. He does not go anywhere, and with love and affection, he serves the father, and he obeys the father, and he does not demand anything from the father. So whatever father gives, he simply accepts, but he serves with love and affection. This is the first son. Okay, now there is a small interaction between you and me. Who are all these 5 kinds of sons? Like first son, he is very atrocious. He does not be favorable to the father. He goes on his own way, and he does all nonsense. So what kind of person he is? Like we have, I can say he wants to enjoy the father's property without taking any risk. So he's a bogey type. Also, we can say this fifth son is also a kind of atheist. Okay, like that fourth son, he comes now and then. He respects father, and he also wants something from the father. So he comes under which category? And do you have any idea? He is also a kind of enjoying mentality only. So he is called pious materialist. So the fifth son, who is a kind of atheist, he wants to enjoy. And fourth son, he is a pious materialist. There is a, materialist and pious materialist. This pious materialist is better than the materialistic materialist. So in both the case, both are bogies on. So the fifth son is also a bogey, fourth son is also a bogey, because they wanted to enjoy the father's property and without any gratitude. So the third son, he wants to take 50% of the father's property. He comes under yogi's category actually, bogey. Then another one son is also a kind of bogey. Another son is a yogi, and second son is a kind of, he is very much envious. Maschara category. He comes under a Maschara category. Then first son, he is very humble, he is very favorable, and he serves father with love and affection. He comes under which category? Anybody?
Bhakt, true
Yeah.
Bhakt.
Correct. Who said so?
Uh,
Anuradha.
myself, Prabhuji.
I can't
Pampa.
see. Pampa, you rightly said. So he is called Bhakta, devotee of the Lord. Because other sons, they wanted to enjoy father's property without any gratitude or without any thanksgiving. So this first son, who is very humble and serves father with love and affection. Even father asks, hey beta, what do you want? Means, no, father, whatever I need, you have already provided. Roti, kapda, makan, and everything you have provided. What else I want? So this comes under Bhakta category. So the point to understand with this shloka is these Bhaktas can easily able to understand the activities of the Supreme Lord. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is mentioned, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atave Shanta Bhakti Mukti Siddhikami Sakala Ashanta. That means Bhakta is always in Shanta position because he does not demand. But whereas this Bhakti Mukti Siddhikamis always they are in Ashanta position. Okay, so the Lord is actually Pati of everything. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.20 it is mentioned, he is Shriyapati, Yagnapati, Prajapatir, Dhiyampatir, Lokapatir, Dharapatir. Patir Gatis Chandaka Vrishni Satvatam Prasaditam Me Bhagavan Satampati. He is all kind of Pati. He can only able to give us everything and roti, kapada, makan, and he knows when to pull it back also, when to supply also. So in this way, these non-devotees, they cannot understand. It can be understood only by service because the first son, he served the father with love and affection. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also it is mentioned, Atasri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai sevan mukhe jipyedo swayam yavaspurati ataha. Therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified. And one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. It is also mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 17.136 by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Atha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai sevan mukehi jippedo swayam yeva spuradhyadaha. Seva. We must do seva. Without doing seva, we cannot able to understand Lord and his activities. Like, Indra, when there is a small understanding. So Indra also envied Prudu Maharaj when he was doing Ashwamedha Yaga. And Indra is also called Shatakrutu. Shatakrutu means he has done 100 Ashwamedha Yagnas and he became a Indra, king of heavenly planets. Now Prudu Maharaj has done 99 Ashwamedha Yagnas and last one is due. Then there is a shaking position in the chair of Indra. So he does not want to allow anybody to take his position. So then he came down and he disguised himself as a sadhu and he took away the Ashwamedha Yaga's horse he has stolen away. So anyway, there's a big incident happened there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Finally, Brahma had to come and he had to say that, Are, you are already a king and why do you want to take this position? So Indra is also good, like that there was a compromise. So the point to understand is Indra was very much envious about Prudu Maharaj. So in the material world, out of envy, people forget Krishna. But in the spiritual world, out of love, people forget Krishna. You see the difference. I repeat, in the material world, out of envy, people forget Krishna. Let it be from Brahmaloka to Pataloka. But in the spiritual world, in Golok Vrindavana, out of love and affection, out of gratitude, they forget Krishna. They forget Krishna means it is in a different way. So they serve the Supreme. Just like a Prime Minister mother is there, and she does not care what her son's position is. For a mother, the son is always son only. She has a loving affection only. Either you are a prime minister or a governor or whoever he may be. So it is not pertaining to any position, but it's a loving care. Okay. So this is the reason why envy is present only in this material world, not in the spiritual world. Whenever other flowers they want to do the service in the spiritual world, like champa flower, lotus flower, or mallika, or so many other fragrant flowers, they wanted to serve the Lord. But when Tulsi comes, they give way to Tulsi to reach the lotus feet of the Lord. Because for example, Tulsi may not be so fragrant and may not be so beautiful, may not be so attractive, but Tulsi Maharani is a dear devotee of the Lord. So the other flowers, when Tulsi comes, they keep a low profile and they allow Tulsi to reach the lotus feet of the Lord. So they don't have any enviousness. Actually, machara, the word machara meaning, it is a macha means it is a fish actually. And what is the analogy? Somewhere I heard a big fish is the small fish, because the big fish does not want to allow the small fish to become a big. So in this way, this is fish also envious and it swallows the small fish. So in this way, we can also mention it is called a machara analogy. So even the crabs also, when the crabs they are put in one place and they want to climb up the wall, and one crab seeing another crab, it will keep the crab down only. It will not allow any other crab to go up. So these crabs also a type of envious. Like maybe I can share one small pastime. There is one rishi. He was nicely meditating, and his rishi name is Vedashira. He was in a remote place and nicely meditating, and he was in a cottage actually, very nice cottage. Then he went for some nature call and he came back. And at the time, one Ashwashira Muni came and he started meditating in the cottage. Then this Vedashira became very upset or disappointed, or a kind of enviousness entered into his mind. And he said, how can you come and do tapas here? You are not allowed to do. Then this Ashwashira Muni, he got also annoyed. Hey, you came all the way to this remote jungle and to have self-realization. It seems you don't have much self-realization, and you want to send me out, or you have a kind of a possessive mentality being in this kutir, and this is not expected from you being a Muni. So this where then Ashwashira Muni he cursed him. So you possess qualities like a kind of envious, jealous. That's why I curse you become a serpent in your next life. So this Vedashira Muni, he was the one who became a Kaliya serpent. So this is the repercussion it happens. So in Bhagavad Gita also many times the Supreme Lord addresses Arjuna as O sinless one, O Anaga, and O non-envious one, Anasuyave. Because you are Anasuyave, I am giving this knowledge to you, Bhagavad Gita. So a devotee position is like that. The devotee is always, non-envious. Even Kapil Dev also, for his mother Devhuti, very nicely he explained about this non-envious factor. And he also mentioned that not to reveal this secret to the envious people. It's some message. Okay. Now I want to share something so that you can also see and enjoy. So there are some quotes from Srila Prabhupada about this enviousness. The foremost reason for conditional life and devotional creeper being stunted by growth is nicely elucidated by Srila Prabhupada in his purport, Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 27th chapter, 20th words. So can someone read out if you can able to see the quote?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'll read it. The foremost reason for conditional life and devotional creeper being
Okay.
being
Stunted by growth.
stunted. Prabhu, something getting wrong.
Can you able to see now, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Stunted by growth is nicely elucidated by Srila Prabhupada in his purport Srimad Bhagavatam 3.27.20. Everyone desires to be the greatest personality in this material world. Dvesha means envy. When one becomes envious of Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one thinks, why should Krishna be the all and all? I am as good as Krishna. These two items, desire to be the Lord and envy of the Lord, are the beginning cause of material bondage.
Yeah,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu. If anybody thinks in this way, why Krishna I should call him Supreme Lord? I am the God, I can only enjoy. So Prabhupada says these two types of thinking, it is the beginning cause of his material bondage. The living entity has to stay back in this material world millions and millions of births until and unless he has realized that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So another quote is there. Maybe someone can try.
Just pull that.
Yeah,
Screen is not fully visible.
Envy is very subtle and deep-rooted, anartha within our hearts. It comes about because we want to be the supreme enjoyer, proprietor, and controller. Therefore, we tend to use any relationship for purpose of establishing our superiority, no matter whether it is in relation to a superior, equal, or junior. This is by Devaki Devidasi.
Yeah. So we personally heard and had is Her Grace Devaki Devidasi Mataji's personal interaction we also heard. So Mataji out of her realization says that, it's a deep-rooted anartha. This deep-rooted anartha is, it troubles a lot the living entity, unless otherwise he realizes that I am the servant of the Lord and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Then his understanding is otherwise it is simply a chaos to the devotees and also to the non-devotees also. So on this context, I also would like to share you some videos. So these videos are so wonderful, but it will not take much time. This video may last for 5 minutes. So one video is talking about how the Krishna is the Supreme Lord. That is in a gross way. Another is in a detailed way. So, but before we go to that, I have one wonderful explanation given by His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, and another devotee in Abu Dhabi he shared. So there are actually 4 types of envy, and this is a very wonderful explanation. Normally we don't get much of this, but I would like to share the screen so that you can also make a note and understand what it is. What are these 4 kinds of envy? Number 1, hope you can able to see the screen. This is called kala. Kala means this envy is such that the living entity plans and executes the destruction of other living entities. You see, he nicely plans. Yeah. And he tries to distract others. He does a lot of planning and activity, and the outcome of this is, he wants to disturb. He wants to do some trouble to the other living entity. This comes under a kala. This is the envy type. Okay. Then second one is dvesha. This is envy is very dangerous and affects our blood circulation also. Mostly people, when they have a BP, they have this kind of a problem. Basically, we tend to hate the living entity and create enmity for them in our minds. So this is called dvesha. Then third one is asuya. This envy is also subtle envy. It may not be gross. This envy makes the living entity to find fault with others always. Like whenever we have service, he does not see any good in others. He always wants to find fault with others. This Prabhu is like that, and that Mataji has done like this, or this team has done like this. And their nature is to just find fault with. Though there may be a fault, we should not find it out. Then who will find fault? And his respective leader or guru, he will only find fault and he will correct. And correcting simply others is none of our business. We need to make a note of this. Why? Because it's very subtle envy. Sometimes the devotees, they may not utter, but they may talk themselves. Because that's why it is a subtle envy. Asuya is a subtle envy. Then last one is Maschara. This envy bites everyone without discrimination, like the mosquito. Mosquito does not see he is a owner of the house where I am living, or mosquito does not have any discrimination that he is an old man or a young man, or he is my friend, or he is this, that. No, it simply comes and bites. So this is a total envy. So sense gratification is the root cause of this enviousness. This is what Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj says. So sense gratification is a very broad subject. Enviousness is also very, very broad subject. We must undergo so much training and read various purports of Srila Prabhupada in Gita and Bhagavatam. Then only we can able to understand. So now this all we discussed only, it is a problem now. These 4 types of envy can be remembered with an one abbreviation or acronym. It is called PEST. Pest means the insects or others, they come and injure the crop or others' property, etc. Now on the next line we have a solution of this. What is the solution? For each word, for pest, we need to apply pesticide, So the pesticide, each word has got one acronym, very nicely explained. Can someone read out? What does P stand for?
P.
Perceive.
Perceiving the temporary nature of the material world and everything seen around us.
That's why Prabhupada gave Maya Dakshana Prakriti. That means we should understand. Perceiving means a kind of awareness or understanding that the material world is working under Krishna's direction. That is a P. Now we are talking about the solution side. So kindly give your attention. Maybe another 10 minutes I will complete the session. Is that fine? Hare Krishna?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Someone, each one can read out.
Eagerness to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord.
Yeah. In 4.9 also we can remember. Janma karma chame divyam yevam va veti tatvattaha tvakta deham punarjanma neti mameti. So Arjuna, Krishna says, whoever understand my transcendent nature, they will not take birth again like that. Then S for?
Stopping of sense gratification.
Himsam kamadi
Kamadi anitaya.
anihaya. So that means root cause for this enviousness is sense gratification, indriya trupti. This we are supposed to mitigate. All of a sudden, just like a car, if you apply a brake, there is a trrr like that. Like that, we cannot stop sense gratification. It takes its own time. But that require a lot of guidance and training. That is only given in ISKCON. Okay, then time. T for?
Time to be used cautiously in studying and contemplating on the scriptures, which will eliminate our thinking process for planned envy.
So if we have this mentality of planned envy on somebody, and how to mitigate that, Maharaj says here, our 24 hours time must be aptly utilized in studying Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion. And there is the medicine actually. We have to take the medicine by reading the scriptures. Then I for
Introspectiveness in our dealings and others, especially when the subtle envy is generated within us.
So within us, it generates automatically. So we need to have the introspection means self-analysis you need to make. You need to sit alone. Why should I envy him, her unnecessarily? What is the benefit I am getting? You must analyze. You should have Atma Parisilan. Okay. See,
Constantly strive for rectifying our envious nature, always by sincere chanting and service.
yeah, that sincerity should be there in attentive chanting. This is another remedy. Okay. I for
Identify the value of time which is passing away imperceptibly and not waste perversely in envying others.
Yeah, so this is a time factor is very, very important. We unnecessarily we should not waste the time simply by envying others, and that's why we need to refer the scriptures. D for
Develop a sense of belonging to all fellow beings as being part and parcel of Krishna.
yeah, you should have that togetherness or belongingness. Even for devotees or non-devotees, we must have cordial relationship, and in this way we need not envy anybody else. Yeah, I for E for
Envisioning our death always as we are all condemned to death.
Aghatam Nemanasya. That means envisioning our death always as we are all condemned. Yeah, everybody is supposed to die, But if you die with non-Krishna consciousness, you have to take birth again. But if you die in Krishna consciousness, you will go back to Krishna. So this is from Sajjana Priya Krishnadas from Abu Dhabi. I got this message. So it's so wonderful. I liked it. I wanted to share with all of you. Now we came to the video session. So this single slide talks about the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Why should we unnecessarily envy the Lord or other living entities? Because I am significant. Now Lord says in Bhagavad Gita in 10th chapter, he says, among the luminaries, I am the sun. He says, I am the letters, I am and I am the among the strong, I am strength. Like that, the Lord gives a lot of analysis. This is a deep analysis, actually. So this video, this is a short YouTube short I am going to share with you. This is for 1 minute, and this talks about the Lord's supremacy. Okay, there is another video which goes for 5 minutes. It talks about the Lord, how he is opulent in each and every aspect. Okay, so give me a few seconds time. I will arrange a video for you. Somebody, what do you see now on the screen?
Now nothing, Prabhu. You were trying to.
We'll share the video. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah. So kindly observe this video. Hope you can able to see now.
विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये व्यासां वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो।
So this is talking about the various galaxies and how they have been formed and billions of universes. They are all working under Supreme Lord Krishna. So scientists, unnecessarily they are spending crores of rupees and doing lot of exploration. The outcome result is nothing. They don't achieve anything else.
ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः अविकाराय सुधाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण जन्म
Okay, that is about it. Now, finally, our dear Prabhu, His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, is talking about the opulence of the Absolute. So this video will go for 5 minutes only. So kindly bear with me. If anybody has got any urgent works, they can quit the session and they can move ahead. Okay. So can you able to see now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. The 7 great sages and before them the 4 other great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. One who is factually convinced of this opulent and mystic power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance." Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Nanda, inform this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all you have told me. My concern was not even to Lord to understand your personality. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, Origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the morality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless.
Lord's opulence are limitless.
I am the Supersoul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Of the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind, and in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree. And of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. And among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Of horses, know me to be Uchaishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among men, I am the monarchs. Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabhi. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love, and of serpents, I am Vasuki. Of the many-hooded Nagas, I am Ananta, and among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varun, and among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am Time. Among beasts, I am the lion, and among birds, I am Garuda. Of purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama. Of fishes, I am the shark, and of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Of letters, I am the letter R, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma. I am all-devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brihat Sama, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margashirsha, and of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring. I am also the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things I am silence, and of the wise I am the wisdom. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade.
Hare Krishna. Turn to meeting. Hare Krishna. ఇక్కడ అది కెమెరా.